Steve Phillips. You know who he is, right? MLB Network contributor
former
now.
GM of the Mets?
Former GM of the Mets, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I always say he looks like the hip Santa Claus, like his facial hair and everything. He kind of looks like that. This is what he had to say in regards to what Tony Vitello needs to do with Raffy Devers.
And Tony Vitello said he didn't think he had to talk to him. I think you have to talk to him. I think you need to sit down with him and lay the law that that's not acceptable for sure.
So I teased heading into this break, how do they fix this? That's step one in how they fix this is, hey, they have a sit down together, they get on the same page, and they come out to the media tomorrow before the game, right? Batting practice, whatever. I think both of them need to speak, and both of them need to say, hey, we're unified here. He was upset. I get it. He didn't want to come out. There's a lot of frustrations boiling over. We're not playing well, but we're all in alignment. We want to win. We want to do right, and we're going to do well going forward here. That's how you nip this thing in the bud right now.
Yeah, I think both of them. They're not going to come out together. You're saying
no, not together. They're not like in a joint press conference.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not happening.
I'm saying one of them needs, both of them need to speak. I think Raffy needs to speak on this. He needs to.
I have a hard time seeing him speak, considering he spoke one time since getting here.
Well, then you know what, Buster Posey. If you're the only one that can get to him, you need to tell him to do that, right?
I don't know I'm not sure if Raffy's told to do a lot of things, as evidenced by yesterday.
Well, then that's a problem.
I would agree with that.
Like, who is Raffy Devers to the San Francisco Giants that, he's earned this equity just because he has a big contract? Is that the only reason we're afraid to do this? Because he has this contract? You earned that contract with who? The Boston Red Sox. They're the ones that inked that deal. Now, we took it on because we wanted you to be a part of this thing going forward and help turn the ship around.
Yeah, but just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you now then skirt responsibility.
I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you. I understood in Boston because he felt like he had pelts on the wall and had earned a level of, you know what? No, I want to do this, and I think I've earned the right to be able to play through some of these mistakes at third base. You guys are ripping this away from me. I won a World Series here. That's not fair. Okay, I don't agree with it, but I could understand that aspect in Boston. You have not earned anything here in San Francisco. You have not earned the right to do it all, what you did. And quite frankly, no one has earned the right to do what he did yesterday. I don't care if you're Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson.
Barry could get away with it.
Yeah, but it would still be a bad look.
I know. I'm just being real, though. Barry would have been able to get away with it.
But you know what? God, he's
Barry.
But you know what? And I always go back to this. You know who didn't take Barry's crap at all in Pittsburgh? And God, I love that clip.
Jimmy Leland?
Jim Leland, baby.
Oh, well.
And Jim Leland, we had him on last year, and I want to reach out to him again, Sammy, because he talked about that moment, and he said, hey, Barry and me do that. But we had respect for each other.
Well, I was going to say, I think the difference between Barry and Raffy, Barry truly respected Dusty.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've heard from so many people, Dusty's the greatest hitting coach ever. Not just manager, in terms of how good of a manager is he, the greatest hitting coach ever. All these guys talk about it. Whoever he's had, if you look at their team batting averages,
sure,
year to year, that he always has an uptick for every team that he manages because he's such a great keen eye when it comes to hitting. But I think Barry had tremendous respect for yesteryear because that was his dad's era.
Yeah.
And then, remember, Dusty brought his dad onto the staff, and Bobby was the first base coach. So, yeah, he would have never have done that to Dusty Baker because he respected him.
Exactly.
And I know we talk a lot about Barry being disrespectful to other people. People that he respected, he didn't cross them like that.
No. Well, this is the thing, too. Jim Leland, what I'm referencing is a very famous video.
No, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Was back in his Pittsburgh Pirates days.
They ended up being better than I think the video shows off in terms of their relationship.
Exactly. It's and Jim Leland's basically saying, and Barry's being defiant at batting practice or whatever, spring training, and Jim's like, hey, you listen to me, MFer. I'm the manager of this team. You're going to do what I say. You're going to get in line. I would have liked a little bit of that from Tony Vitello. Not to that. Tony's not Jim Leland, by the way. He doesn't have the cigarette in his mouth. He's not that old school prickly guy. Jim Leland's kind of prickly. I get it. But, I need some level of, I'm in charge here. I'm the guy. You're going to fall in line here,
I don't even think it has to be that stern. I think
it doesn't have to be, but just a little bit of dude, you can't do that.
Well,
just that.
Simple.
You can't do that.
Something to the effect of, hey, I was subbing him out. We're trying to win a game. He should know that. We're going to talk afterwards, and I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like very simple. This is Robbie Ray, first week of the season, kind of had some comments that I didn't like. Patrick Bailey and him went at it. I'm talking about Vitello. Over, I don't know what it was, pitch selection.
Yeah.
Something was going on with the pitch comm and him, and he clearly showed him up. There was the Logan Webb incident, but I didn't think, anything was like damaging.
Yeah.
Other than like, hey, why did he take out Logan Webb in that situation? There was clearly a miscommunication with how that was handled. Now you have Adrian Hauser questioning why he's in the bullpen. Like, Adrian, hello. I think it was, what's the backup catcher? Haas had some comments about, we're all professionals and blah, blah. Now you got Raffy Devers. So, like, at some point, either Tony Vitello is going to stand up for himself and for his staff and be the leader, or he's going to get run over. And I'm getting the sense he cannot be the manager of this group of guys because it feels like he's in over his head.
That might be the case, and we're talking about right now, 888-957-9570, whether this thing could be fixed, at least for now. Can they do a patchwork job and say, hey, Raffy Devers, if I'm Raffy Devers, I made a mistake. I apologize. The last thing I want to do is show up my teammates, my coach. That was unacceptable. That won't happen again. Like,
that would go a long way, but I highly doubt that's his. Like, he's not.
Well, he should do that. And if I'm Buster Posey, I'm almost making him do that.
Yeah, but I don't think he needs to apologize to Joe Fan.
No, he needs to apologize through the media to everyone.
Well,
it's to say, hey, I shouldn't have done that to my coach.
I guess we'll disagree in this sense because
You don't think he needs to apologize?
As long as the guys in the clubhouse
know
that he feels
then. Privately.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Like, and I believe me, I understand where you're coming from. It's more of the, how do I put it? The metaphor of being in front of the cameras and apologizing. But really, at the end of the day, all that matters is that dugout.
I just think if I'm the PR person right now, we like to talk about PR a lot, like for an organization. I'm getting in Raffy's ear saying, hey, dude, like, I think this would go a long way. You don't really speak to the media a lot. I think we've been very lenient on not making you speak to the media a lot and not having you available a lot of the times. I think this would go a long way with your standing right now and just putting all this behind us. Just come on for a little bit.
I wonder if he even cares, though, about how fans feel.
No, well, that's not even the fans. Like, I just think
a lot of athletes that just don't care.
Sure, but I think Buster Posey and Larry Bear care. Like, and if they care, then you need to care, right?
I mean, in an ideal world, yes. But again, as we're learning, not every athlete is that way. Like Debo at the end, I don't think he cared how fans perceived him. Did you? Did Richard Sherman at the end with the Niners care about how fans perceived him?
No, but they also, they needed contracts, right? And they were more prickly about not getting their future.
The
right?
future uncertainty. Yeah, that's a good point.
So, Raffy, this is the thing. Your future is set, dude. You're $100 million player 3 times over.
This has got a Randy Moss in Oakland feel to it.
That's not bad.
Just to be clear, guys, I've been back here kind of struggling with the question of why hasn't the league, we saw Wemby in the playoffs, he didn't show up to the podium, and they were like, this is a warning for you.
Well, because it's not required.
It's not required.
So there's actually a stipulation in baseball. It says a player that's basically been a big-time player within that game should be made available.
But technically,
that means
he was only a big-time player in that game because he made a stink about it. He only had a walk. He didn't do anything yesterday.
But at the end of the day, it's up to the clubs themselves to push the player.
And to your
go
point,
to the
Carter, what they're saying is we're going to bend over backwards to not make this guy available.
We've said this a lot about Draymond.
Which I think is a joke.
I agree with you. We've said this a lot about Draymond and the Warriors. They're afraid of him. It's pretty clear everybody's afraid of Raffy. And just upsetting him.
Which is so weird to me. Why are we afraid of this guy?
Because of what he did in Boston, and you're afraid that's going to happen here. That's why.
Just send him away.
The looks.
What's the worst that could happen? You're 15 games on.
Susak made eye contact with him and looked down. Susak looked like he's seen a ghost.
Hey, by the way, this story, it's going national. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it this morning. We heard from Steve Phillips. Here's Ron Darling.
Yeah, Ron Darling. I want to hear Rich Aurelio one more time.
Yeah, we can play all of it. Here's Ron Darling, the latest on Devers.
He should apologize to his manager, should apologize to his teammates. If he wants to do it publicly, great. If he wants to do it privately, whatever. But there should be an apology because that action is just not team-oriented. I know this is an individual game wrapped up in a team game. I get all of that. But if you're not tugging on the same rope, then why even be there?
That's a great call.
I love Ron Darling.
He's great.
Salty as hell, old school, but I love him. I did this thing with Matt Williams on Saturday.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was great. God, what a great guy.
Awesome.
Great guy. And he just kept talking.
Did Guru go?
No.
Oh.
Guru was not in Petaluma.
Oh. I thought on these airways he said he was going to be there. That's all right. Maybe another time. Continue.
You can ask him when you see him. But Matt just kept hammering home to all these young athletes. He was like, do you play for the name on the front of the jersey or the back of the jersey? And then he started going on. They were like, some of the kids, I was doing the Q&A with them, and they were like, who's your favorite teammate, and who's this, and who's that? And then we were asking, who do you admire? And he brought up Jay Bell. I thought it was so good. This is old school 90s Pirates. He played with them with the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And he's like, you know why I respect Jay Bell more than anyone ever? Is because with the Pirates, he was their 2-hitter. And whoever got on base, I think it was Andy Van Slyke was the leadoff hitter, they would try to move the runner over, okay? And he bunted, and he had all the numbers, X amount of times over a 2, 3, 4-year period, because that was what the team asked of him. And so he would take the bat out of his own hands to move the runner over to second base or get him to third had he stole second base.
Right.
And he goes, I thought guys within the game respected Jay Bell because he was team first. And Barry and Bobby and all these guys, Bonilla, couldn't get their numbers without a guy like Jay Bell sacrificing. And they all loved him for it. And he was a great ball player, and he was a high draft pick, and he was just going in and about team player and adjusting and doing what the team needs. A ground ball to the right side, stealing a bag when needed, coming out of the game when needed.
Yeah.
Knowing when you've done your job and then next man up. And to have that happen the very next day, it was everything Matt Williams was preaching about team and team and team. And he's like, individuals that aren't about the team are going to go rogue, and they're the ones swinging for the fences. And in that situation, all I kept thinking about was Matt Williams telling all these young kids to get to the next level. It's all about team, 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 team.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It was crazy to have that play out the very next day.
He was a team player. People are calling in. They're fired up with the conversation. Let's go to them. 888-957-9570. Is this fixable between Tony Vitello, Raffy Devers, and this Giants organization right now?
And Tony, if you're going to sub the runner in, okay, which I wanted you to do.
It made sense.
I think
we all agreed that the move made sense.
Can we take a lead that requires a throw over? Can we pretend to steal? Was the green line even on? He said, I would have liked him to steal. Did you ask for it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, so many questions.
Leroy in Oakland.
Hey, Leroy.
What's up, ma'am? Happy Father's Day.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Monday, too, man. It's always a pleasure to get on with you guys. Real quick, I think that this is going to be good for Tony Vitello, and I don't think that Devers needs to apologize because you're getting in Devers what everybody told you were getting, talent-wise and personality. And you guys know we got history. I didn't want the guy in the first place, but Buster pulled the trigger.
You said it.
Okay, fine. Okay. So how this helps Tony Vitello is this. Coming from coaching a whole bunch of kids, and when you're the guy, and when you speak, they listen. Going to a major league organization where when you speak, they might be dozing off a little bit. They might be thinking about their money. They might be doing this, their vacations, this and that. It's something you have to deal with. And he's getting his feet wet with all of this stuff, all of these nuances and all of this stuff that goes on in the major league that he had no idea of. He's just learning. And this is a veteran team. Make no mistake about it. The veterans are going to take the San Francisco Giants as far as they go. And even Matt Chapman said it one day when they had got on a little hot streak. Oh, it's the veterans. It's us. We know what it takes. He didn't mention Tony Vitello. He didn't mention the young guys. He said, hey, it's us. This veterans, we know what it takes. So Tony Vitello is going to have to sit back and continue to learn and watch, and I think it'll blow over. But it's going to be on Tony Vitello to smooth this over by just not saying anything and going to himself, hey, this is the major leagues. I'm coaching a San Francisco Giant team that's veteran-laden. And they're going to be the ones that are going to either take us far or not take us anywhere at all. So it's all good. It's all good. No, they're adults. But No apology needed, and Tony Vitello, I think he'll get better from this, guys.
Thank you, Leroy. I disagree. I do think apology is needed because if there's not one, I don't see how it smooths over as you were mentioning. Brett in Walnut Creek. What's up, Brett?
I'm going to tell you right now, the last person I want to be right now is Tommy Vitello.
Yeah, right?
He just is not the fair man. God bless America. I mean, with the Bible writing on the hat, and one thing after a veteran, Leroy brought up a point. He said veteran clubhouse, they're not acting like veterans.
Nope.
And, I mean, it's some prima donna stuff, man. It's like you're 15 games under 500. You're trying to go out there and scratch out a win in a 3-game set with Miami. It's like, dude, really, bro? Like, come on. Like put the trash aside and let's play some baseball.
Totally.
And the other thing was the dominance. Like, Willie looked like he had too good of a time in Miami. Maybe he went out and hit the clubs, but 0 for 4 with 2 Ks and a little pop-up and a ground ball. He barely ran that ball out. Anyways, that's my call. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brett in Walnut Creek. You know what? It's a great point about that it's not acting like veterans.
Oh, they got the Miami, whatever that is.
Miami
the
flu? The Miami flu, they call it? Oh. Huh? A little bit too good of a time? Really? When you're 15 games under 500, we're partying out in Miami. Again, we're not. We're just speculating. Nothing's reported. But we see this all the time in basketball. It does happen. It does happen.
It happens in every sport. Especially when you're 13 games under. Now they're 15 games
I'm having
under.
a problem going back to Leroy's call. It felt like even Leroy was sweeping this under the rug. It's fine. This is going to be good for Tony. Is it? Has this season been good for Tony? I don't think so. I don't think Tony's having fun. I don't think Buster Posey's having fun. I know Giants fans, well, they're having fun at the
Casey
ballpark.
Schmidt looks like he's having fun.
Casey Schmidt.
We should be
Lee.
talking about him. I thought he hit a home run to dead center. What happened? Did that ball hit the roof?
Well, it might have. Funny things happen in Miami, right, Sam?
There's a lot of outfield in that ballpark.
Yeah, but
there's
it's
a couple
really
balls they hit this weekend that I thought were gone.
Susak, too.
Susak, and then I think Jung Hoo, hit one on Friday night that also, at minimum is off the archways in right field at our ballpark.
Yeah.
It's just that's a very spacious ballpark at whatever they're calling it now. I think it's Lone Depot.
Sam, if you were in the scrum, because you're at all the games at home, if you were in the scrum, what would you have asked Tony Vitello last night? Yesterday?
I mean, I obviously thought Evan Webeck had a lot of good questions there. I think it's just
I'm not trying to dog who was there. I'm just asking what you might have asked.
Something like, is that something you feel you need to have a discussion with him about? Why do you not feel like you need to have a discussion with him about that? Probably some of that nature. But usually one of the bigger writers handles those questions.
Okay,
that's the good follow-up, though. Like, why do you feel like this is an everyday conversation? You just mentioned, Tony, you guys talk every day.
Yeah.
This one clearly feels different. I've never seen him show up the team the way he did today, which is what he did.
And it's also very possible because these post-game scrums happen so quickly after the end of the game that, I don't know how much time he has because there's always the thing, and sounds like I'm making an excuse for him. I'm just trying to lay it out.
You're giving us
after the game, there's maybe 10 minutes or so between the end of the game and when he's talking to us. So there's not a whole lot of time for him to address anything with the team or anything after that. So it's very possible that, Tony, he's still got a game to manage, however few minutes of it were left. He's focused on that. He can't really deal with this Raffy situation now until later on, but the way that things go, the game ends, he's got to go and do his post-game stuff. He probably just never had an opportunity to go address it with Raffy between the moment happening and the media scrum afterwards.
What would you have asked Raffy if you were in front of him after yesterday?
Just take us through what was going through your mind there. What happened in that situation?
Yeah,
why didn't you want to come out?
Looked like you were pretty upset, Raffy, and what were you upset about?
Yeah, why didn't you want to come out of the game?
What if he had said, no, it's nothing?
Well, then if he just doesn't want to talk about it, then you can lead the horse to water. You can't make him drink, or can't make the horse talk, I guess, in this situation.
All right. We've heard from Steve Phillips, Ron Darling, again, making the national waves. How about our good friend of the station, friend of the program, Rob Parker?
Oh, yeah. What'd he say?
Obviously, you would look at it and think this is clear cut, but I think it's a little deeper. And I'm not talking for Rafael Devers, but this is where hiring a college coach and a team that's bad and the mistakes and the way that the game has been played for them and all the other missteps where a player will challenge a guy who maybe he doesn't have the same level of respect as maybe someone who went through the major league system in order to get the job. And I think that's what this is. You know, to be pinch run for in that situation normally would make total sense. Why the pushback? Maybe it's because of Tony, and maybe he doesn't feel Tony should be where he is. There's something deeper to me because it looks like an obvious situation.
I don't know, though. Like all of a sudden now I don't feel like Tony doesn't have my respect. Like, what?
He just might not have. I just don't. I don't think a lot of these guys, like, you have to earn that respect from day one. And if they don't think that you got the job, with credibility, like, you've got to earn people's respect.
You have to earn my respect as a Giants fan, Raffy Devers, and you haven't earned that.
No. I agree with you. I'm talking about the workplace environment.
Yeah, but they didn't even give him a chance. It's like, are they?
You've never worked in a place where people don't give people chances?
Well, again, I can only go off me as a person. I always try to give someone a chance.
Yeah, but you're more open than maybe others. Yeah, people are closed-minded.
But I do think the Giants in this case can't be closed-minded when they've been mediocre to bad for basically a decade.
Yeah, but in Raffy's eyes, he's like, I'm a borderline Hall of Famer.
Raffy, again, you're going man in the mirror. Michael Jackson.
I know.
You need to look in the mirror, Raffy. You haven't been that guy in a couple of years now.
I know.
And you're well on your way to being on 3 different teams in 3 different years.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking at in the face.
This feels like the Randy Moss pit stop before he goes somewhere else.
Exactly. Well, this feels Randy Moss pit stop, not to New England. You're going to like Tennessee or Minnesota. That's where you're going. That's what it feels like.
Why would the Marlins, with their little payroll, want anything to do with him? Like, for example.
No, for sure. Why would they? Exactly. Why would I want to bring in that disgruntled, well, I'm not even calling him a star, disgruntled, bloated contract? I'm not bringing that in here. Nor do I want a Willie Adames. Honestly, Matt Chapman. That's probably the one guy that actually looks like he's going to get traded. And you know what? I don't know if I want to trade him. I actually might want to keep Matt Chapman. Like, that's the one veteran I might want on this team.
Seriously.
Out of those 3.